if we can make this thing look a little bit more like a duck blind. So what we've got here is as custom gets. Welcome back in. We got a trip down to Hyde County this weekend for the last weekend of the 23-24 season here in North Carolina. Just doing some touch-ups on the blind here. I was gonna show you this blind, show what we're gonna be hunting out of, and hopefully we'll get down there and kill some ducks. Let's take a look at it. The entire frame of this thing, which we're gonna take a look at, was all built and bent by my father and I. He's an electrician, great at bending conduit. So this thing is perfectly built for this boat. Then my buddy Brandon tied all this raffia grass on this army netting here, and I've zip tied it to non-woven separation fabric like we use in the stormwater world. That's our quieting and mainly a wind blocker. So we've got raffia grass, a ghillie army net, non-woven fabric, all to a 3/4 inch EMT frame here, and it folds down for easy travel. I'll show you that here in just a second. But we are grassed up really heavy on the outside. The original color of this grass was this right here. It's a little bit light. They were out of the dark stuff. So all I did was take a spray paint can of brown and black, come through here and kept misting it, and I'd fluff it, spray it again, so on, so forth. So now we've got a really nice grassed out blind. I think I've had this on here 4 years now, and we've killed a few ducks out of it. It seems to work really well. But let's hop up inside of it and take a look. Some of this top cover out of the way here. And what we've got is a real simple folding style blind here. And it's got 3 horizontal runners on the side, on each side, and it collapses and falls right down onto the gunnel. And to hold it up and support it, at either end, I've got this 1/2 inch EMT conduit that just slides and falls right onto this U-bolt. So to drop it, all we do is take this guy off. You can already tell it's falling away. I go to the back, do the same thing. The whole blind falls down to both sides. This is a 1756 Express. So the floor is a little bit narrow, and especially with these side pieces here, it's all welded, and there's thick foam back here for extra flotation. So it really starts to tighten up this boat with this big old live well right here. So sometimes space is a little bit of an issue when you've got a bunch of decoys and 3 people in here, but it seems to do pretty well if everybody's just patient and kind of moves around slowly and methodically. It seems to work pretty well. When we hunt, one person sits up here on the bow, somebody sits right here on the live well where I'm sitting right here, and then I sit back here behind the console with plenty of room back there for the extra gear, blind bags, gun bags, etc. For top cover, it's actually pretty nifty. I don't have it up right now, but all this grass is on a cargo style net and flips over this whole thing and clips right here. And each section has their own 2 folding cargo nets, really heavily grassed up. So all you're gonna see sticking out of here is 3 little heads through 3 little gaps. And when the birds are coming, you can keep your head really low, just barely look over this frame, and they'll never pick you out. You can hide in here really easy. And you just go from a sitting position to a slight standing position, you can shoot no problem. This blind does not fall down and fold away. It stays up completely erect the entire time we're hunting. Now that we're inside, we can take a little better look here. I've got 3 conduit runners here. The very bottom one, which is stationary, the middle row, which folds up, and then the top row. And they all hinge off this 2x4 here with these EMT straps. So there's just a single bolt through here that allows all these to hinge. There's 1, 2 hinge points on either side. The bottom row remains stationary. Secure the joints, I'm just using these EMT couplers here. They're just a friction coupler, and to be honest with you, they're not great. They actually end up presenting a lot of problems where the pipe wants to fall back out when there's a lot of stress on it. You pick it up, move it around. So the joints that seem to get the most stress on them, I went ahead and ran some self-tapping screws in here to secure them. I do plan to get some maker pipe fittings that are made specifically for this that clamp on right here, and you bolt them and screw them through, and that is a really tight joint. So maker pipe makes those. That's on my off-season to-do list. But for now, we're just making do with what we got with these friction EMT couplers. But this non-woven fabric for use in stormwater world actually works really well. It cuts all the wind out of here. It's like a little microclimate. Even when I stick my head out right now, I can tell that wind-cold difference. It gets wet, but it doesn't really absorb water. It actually kind of beads it off. It's kind of a waxy feel to it. This is a lot cheaper than buying some really high-grade windstopper fabric. Non-woven separation fabric. You can get it at any erosion supply store. For a little added support, I do have a rope that connects right here in the middle. When I'm out by myself, it's actually easier to pull this thing up in the middle and clip it right here and then go to my two ends and put my EMT brackets on. When you've got 2 or 3 people in here, you just lift from both ends and it's really easy and you don't actually need this middle piece. You can tell it's slack right now. All the EMT conduit on the ends is doing the work. Made it back here to the captain's quarters and you can tell just how much space we have back here. When this boat flares out, and I've got it tapered going slightly out before it comes up. There's actually a lot of space back here to sit, put blind bags, put your gun bags, cooking equipment, whatever you might need in the blind. There's a lot of space back here. But let's lift off this back bracket and show you what it looks like when it folds down. All we do is take a little pressure off, lift the EMT up, and then boom, it drops and folds away, out of the way. So once that blind folds away, there's plenty of room in here to navigate, get around, even to pick up decoys just like it is. But when we get on the highway, I'll start stuffing all this grass in here. And then I've actually got these little ropes with the clips that double as a secure here to the cleat and makes this blind really portable down the highway. So when you're on the water, it's time to hunt. One person at either end picks up on the blind and clips right back together. And these brackets are also on a single bolt here. So they just fold down out of the way so they don't get caught in anything. Just tuck all that grass in for the highway travel, pull our little ropes over, secure it to the cleat, and it rides like a dream. Not only did Dad come in here and custom bend all this conduit to fit perfectly, there's even risers here. There's a lot more that goes into this than you think. This conduit actually rises with the boat, makes another transition here before it takes off, and then these hinge points all fall in back here to these little brackets. So a lot of custom pipe bending went into this, as well as a custom seamstress job. Dad's also great at sewing. He sewed all these loops onto a standard canvas outboard motor cover. And I tied some leftover raffia grass to it as well to really hide that motor. That way out on the water, I don't have to have a painted ugly motor. I can have that nice clean faded Yamaha look to it, but I got a cover that goes on it really quick. So we'll be in Hyde County this coming Thursday through Saturday. We've got Lake Mattamuskeet permits, which should be pretty fun. I've hunted there a couple times with hit or miss success. I think we all know the story there. We've got some salinity issues, dike control issues, mismanagement, lack of birds, got a carp issue, a lot of vegetation's gone. Drop a comment if you want to get into the Lake Mattamuskeet stuff. We'll probably get into that in the next episode when we get down and actually start hunting. That's it. Just want to give you guys a quick boat blind tour, show you how I built it. And hopefully it inspires you to put something on your boat. It does not have to be fancy, complicated. Conduit from Lowe's, erosion control fabric from a supply store, buy you some raffia grass, and having a dad that bends pipe is a nice added bonus. But lots of variations of how to build these things. Build it to whatever suits you. I know some people like the fall-away ones. I know some people like more top cover. This was just a simple design that works really well for us. But we hopefully will catch you on the next episode. We'll be down in Hyde County shooting some ducks. But until then, God bless. Take care.